KATC Weather Lab. Here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back, and welcome back to part 2 of our coverage of Tropical Storm Barry in the Gulf of Mexico. And as we showed you a little bit earlier, Barry has all the convection west of the center and on the southern flank. And one thing that we have to be on the lookout for with this system that could change the forecast track back farther to the west is that the weight of all of this convection could tug the center farther to the south and west with all the convection south and west of the system. So we'll be watching this trend overnight tonight through tomorrow, so there could be more changes in the storm track. Now, mind you, 24 hours out, the storm track can be up to 40 to 50 miles off, and 40 to 50 miles is a big difference when you're talking about the heavy rainfall and the wind. Rainfall is going to be the main issue with this system, surge a secondary issue, and then we're going to have tropical storm force winds that are going to be gusting 60 to 70. That's going to knock some trees down, some branches down. You're going to have power outages across the area, and that will most likely occur, especially from, we'll say, Vermilion, Acadia, Evangeline Parish on eastward. As you go farther to the west, based on this track, you'll be in better shape rainfall-wise, wind-wise, and surge-wise, as well as we showed you earlier. So here's the European model, again, closely reflecting the storm track, which has not changed essentially all afternoon long, with the center of circulation beginning to work its way into Terrebonne, and it looks like St. Mary Parish overnight tomorrow night through early Saturday morning. And notice we don't see that convection really wrapping around the system right here. I'm going to show you another model that looks awfully interesting, but we're going to discard it. But nonetheless, you can see how this system is going to come up Highway 90, then the I-49 corridor, or just east of the I-49 corridor, and then the heavy rains coming in during the day Saturday into Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. That's when the flooding rains will start, and they will continue into Saturday night, overnight Saturday night, and into Sunday morning until this system gets far enough away. But notice Sunday morning, still tropical rain bands that will be perfectly capable of producing localized flooding and maybe 4 to 8 inches of rain in these repeated rain band areas. So that's why we'll be on the lookout for flooding rains, 10 to 15 inches, perhaps more in spots, and we'll get to the rainfall in just a bit. Things quieting down late Sunday, and we're back to a summer pattern as we go into Monday, and certainly beyond, rain chances getting lower. Here's the high resolution NAM model. Love this model because it shows the moisture very well, but I don't think it's doing a particularly good job with Barry, indicating that there will be less shear and the convection will wrap around the center of Barry. So this model makes it a hurricane, but we're not going to go with that. But notice the track of the center of the storm pretty much the same as the European model and the National Hurricane Center, and we could certainly see at this point these tropical rain bands looking like this, wrapping around the center and producing flooding rainfall, especially from the coastal areas and the eastern parishes of Acadiana, and that will continue at least through overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning, as we indicated. Rainfall wise, the big rains don't come in until the winds actually come in first, and then the big rains come in later on, and that's when we'll also see with those tropical rain bands the gusts maybe to 60 or 70 miles an hour. And unfortunately, there will be flooding rainfall with this system somewhere between, we'll say, Lafayette and Baton Rouge, eastern parishes of Acadiana from St. Martin through Iberia, St. Mary, lower St. Martin Parish are going to get pounded with probably a 10 to 15 inch rainfall, and there will be isolated areas pushing 20 to 25. Model is not exact, but it's been consistent, showing this large swath of 10 to 20 inches of rain across portions of Acadiana. If the track shifts east, this heavy rain shifts east. If the track shifts west, then the heavy rain shifts west, and you can see what a difference maybe 40 or 50 miles will make on that forecast track. So that's why we are still concerned that there could be more changes, and the flood threat is still very high. Tides beginning to rise 2 to 4 feet to 3 to 6 feet from Vermilion, we'll say Atchafalaya Bay on eastward, so that's going to be problematic across the coastal areas. If you're asked to evacuate, please do so. so. When it comes to flooding rain, tropical rain bands tomorrow, but the big stuff coming in Saturday morning through the afternoon and overnight hours into Sunday. 6 to 12 we'll say for most folks, isolated 15 to 25. And even if you're in the 6 to 12 range, you can have flooding because a lot of it may come in just a few hours. Prepare for sustained winds, 40 to 60. We'll have a better beat on that tomorrow. Gusts 70 to 80 and squalls near the center, and there will be a tornado risk mainly over toward eastern Louisiana. So tomorrow's the last day you have to make your hurricane preparations and have a plan in place just in case hurricane conditions arrive. Again, a strong tropical storm, a Category 1 hurricane, not much of a difference. So prepare for a hurricane, and that's why we have tropical storm and hurricane warnings through Saturday. Conditions begin to improve late Sunday, and then as we go into next week, back to a summer pattern. That's it for weather for right now. We're going to have more coming up right after this.